What's up, YouTube? What's up, YouTube? It's your boy back with another one. People, in today's video, we want to discuss the ANC Hamas connection and whether America is right to call the ANC a terrorist organization. People, this is a big one. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. You know, we family, right? People, the ANC is once again making global headlines. And this time, it's for something that's not been serious. But the Americans want to turn it into this big thing. Like it's, I don't know, like it's a new thing, like as if they don't do things. Like, so what is this thing about? So, the South African government, according to America's investigative reports, say that South African government knew about the impending October 7th attacks on Israel. Why? Because the ANC government and Hamas have a long-standing relationship. Now, my question is this. Before the ANC got into power, they were designated as a terrorist group by the Americans. Okay, how were they terrorists again? Please remind me. Because they were fighting for freedom in their own land against an oppressive European colonizing regime. So, how can you be a terrorist in your own land? And how can white invaders, white colonialists, white European, I don't know what other word to put there, be classed as legitimate rulers of a land that does not belong to them? How? So when the formation of the South African state by the Boer people, by the Dutch people, was that not an act of terror? When the state of Israel was created in 1947-48, was that not an act of terror? That's what my question is. So when white people do terrorist activity, terrorist acts, then it's not terrorism. But when Africans and Asians and brown people do it, oh, then it's terrorism. Oh, it's fine to label things as you see fit, but the minute we do it, then it's a problem. You see, black people could never be terrorists. Brown people could never be terrorists. That's just practically impossible. For the mere fact that black people and brown people don't go around invading other people's land. Since the borders were established, name me one African country that has invaded another African country, took over that country as terrorists, and are now doing whatever they damn well want to do. Name me one. You can't even list the Congolese War as that, because the Congolese War is Rwandese people fighting amongst each other, because a group that committed a genocide in Rwanda ran over into Congo. The Congolese people went into Congo to go and chase and get those people out. Then there's another group in Congo that's trying to overthrow the current government in Congo from inside the Congo, but the Rwandese people. So it's like two groups of Rwandese people that are fighting. No, it's actually like three groups that are fighting, if I'm not mistaken. So it's a tricky situation, right? It's a complex situation because the Congolese war does not really even involve the Congolese people per se. It's Rwandese people who ran into the Congo, blended with the Congo people, and now the Rwandese army and Rwandese backed rebels are in there trying to weed these people out, and they're just blasting anyone and everyone because now they can't tell the difference who's who anymore. That's not a Congolese war at all. That's a Rwandese war. That's a Rwanda war happening in Congo. I mean, that's totally unfair to the people of Congo. Now, can we now say those people are terrorists because they're going into, they're trying to overthrow? They're not even trying to overthrow the Congolese government. That's been the worst part of this Congolese war. Okay, again, off on a tangent. People, so the ANC, back to the ANC and the Hamas connection. Okay, so Nelson Mandela famously said, South Africa will not be free until Palestine is free. In no way did Nelson Mandela say that South Africa will never be free unless Israel is free. Because even by his metrics, Israel is a colonizing power that needs to be dismantled because it is practicing apartheid and America is supporting that. America went to war in Iraq. And what was they claim? Weapons of mass destruction. Were they found? No. But they destroyed an entire country. An illegal war at that. And what they will say? Nothing. Why? Because they're superpower. Because they're nuclear power. So it's okay if they go in and massacre and destroy. I mean, over what? They said like over 1 million people were killed. I mean, people, this is ridiculous. This is really ridiculous. This right-wing white Western people are now trying to indoctrinate the world with their philosophies and all these weird things. And it cannot be. As much as we don't like the ANC, as much as the ANC has run South Africa into the ground, we must be honest and say the ANC is not a terrorist group. Hamas is not a terrorist group. But according to white people, America, Hamas is a terrorist group. And any association by any other organization with Hamas, those people are then seen as terrorists as well. Well, anyone who supports Israel and their apartheid, racist, oppressive acts against the Palestinian people, what are they termed? What are they called? You see, because oppression in its highest form, right, has to be Israel. That's it at its highest form. I don't think it can get any higher. And the one thing that white people are forgetting, and Americans and whoever else supports America and Israel and all that, white people have been killing people since the 1600s. And even well before that, in Europe, they were killing each other and all that. Okay, that doesn't matter because they were killing each other. That's fine. But since the 1600s, if I'm not mistaken, that's when they started. So from the 1600s until now, 2025, white people are still killing other people. I mean, guys, does this not seem delusional to you? That white people are always at war. They're not happy with peace. They just not happy with peace. I mean, look at Yemen. Yemen is one country trying to help fight for the Gaza people. Guess who's jumping into the fight? The UK, Australia, the Netherlands. Greece is assisting with airplane landings and stuff. For the life of me, I will tell you this. The war in Palestine was never a war against terrorism. It was never about that. And it clearly is not about that. Hamas is not a threat to Israel in any way, shape, or form. Hamas's rockets that they fire into Israel are not sophisticated rockets that destroy an entire neighborhood. They hit a house and that's that. They hit a car park and that's that. It doesn't cause massive damage or anything because those weapons they make are homemade weapons. It's not like they can fire, even the mortars that they fire. uh, Even the mortars that they fire from inside Gaza into, they don't do any serious damage unless they miraculously hit a person or a car. If they hit a house is partially damaged. It does not destroy or flatten an entire house. They do not have that capability. So when Israel spreads lies to say they are a threat to Israel, that's a lie. Iran is a threat. Yemen is a threat. They have ballistic missiles. They have cruiser missiles. They have those things. So now, when white people and anyone else, well, I'm saying mainly white people because you can see the countries that are going to war for Israel. It's mainly white countries, right? But we all know that there are other race groups that support Israel, which just doesn't make any sense because your ancestors were oppressed by these people. So to me, it just puzzles me how a black person can support Israel. For me, that just boggles my mind. You find an Indian person supporting Israel. It boggles my mind how you can think that your ancestors went through grueling punishment, rituals, and stuff, and here you are supporting Israel. Well, I digress. Back to the issue at hand. Is the ANC a terrorist group? Is the ANC complicit in helping Hamas in this? Well, if they are, don't you think they are trying to assist them in getting their independence, their freedom? So what are we? Is the ANC supposed to just sit back and watch their friends who supported them in their fight against apartheid just sit back and watch them get decimated? Are you serious? Are you crazy? If you were the ANC and you watch your friends getting hammered and demolished like what's happening now, would you just sit back and watch? I don't think so. So, as much as we hate the ANC, as much as the ANC have run the country into the ground, on this one, I'm with the ANC. We will arm Hamas. The ANC must arm Hamas. Not only arm Hamas, the ANC must send soldiers, weapons, guns, military equipment, missiles, attack. Look, we're not even using most of our military stuff anyway. Ship all that stuff to the Gaza Strip. Let the Palestinians use that stuff to defend themselves. That's my take. There is no such thing as a terrorist when you are in your own land. My man, if we're going to invade America now, all of a sudden Americans are they the terrorists now? You tell me. No. So the ANC are a bunch of losers. They are. You can call them all the names in the book, but on this one, the ANC is right. The ANC is the face of resistance against apartheid. Because if you talk about apartheid, the first country that comes to mind is South Africa. And when you talk about South Africa apartheid, the first fight that comes across, the first face that comes across the fight against apartheid is Nelson Mandela. The first organization that comes to mind is the ANC. So, how are they a terrorist group? And even if they did know about the October 7th attacks, it's their friends. America knew about the impending attack on Gaddafi. What did Gaddafi do to America for America to go in and decimate Libya? Thank you. Right. So before America can call other people, other countries, other groups terrorists, they need to look at their own history. They have been involved in so many regime changes. They have been involved in so many backing of rebel groups. They have been involved in so many assassination attempts or assassinations. I mean, is there anything that America has not had their hand in? To funding poppy fields in Afghanistan, to aiding and abetting or soliciting help from the mafia to assassinate high profile people? I mean, guys, the list of atrocities that America has committed is unfathomable. But yet they're the first ones who want to talk about rebel groups, terrorist groups, and terrorist countries as if they are not one. I mean, right now they are complicit in aiding Israel in committing a genocide within Palestine. People, name me another race group on this earth that advocates for the removal of the inhabitants, the descendants, the, what's the word? The indigenous people of a land, simply because they want to take over that land so that they can just have a Jewish only state. Name me one country. Name me one race. Name me one land that does that. Just name me one land. Name me one country that says only Muslims. Name me one country that says only blacks. Name me one country that says only Christians. Name me one country that says only Indians. Name me one country that says only Chinese. Name me one country that says only. Name me one. Just name me one. Name. You can't. But guess what? That's what Israel is trying to achieve. People, this is sad. So, next we get into the pros of the ANC being a friend of Hamas. I don't think there's any cons in this one, but hey, you never know. Holla. People, let's go into the pros. Number one, South Africa is the face of liberation movements. South Africa is the face of resistance. South Africa is the face of the fight against apartheid. Even though they were not the only ones who fought against apartheid, but they are the face because they seem to be the biggest organization, right? In terms of numbers and popularity at the time, right? Against apartheid. So, number one, as the face of resistance against apartheid, South Africa needs to play its role on the global stage by supporting Hamas. They do not have a choice in that matter. Right. We don't care who that offends. We don't care about the color of your skin. We do not care what you think. We don't care if you're right wing. We don't care if you're American or Israeli. We do not care. The main thing that we worry about is that the Palestinians get their justice. That's what we care about. So we do not care. America, you can go to hell for all we care. We do not care. And don't try to threaten South Africa with war because you will regret it. Trust you me. We are not Palestine. We will not sit back and watch you do to other countries and think you can come to South Africa and decimate. You will not even try that nonsense. Trust me. And even if any other country tries to support you in that country will see fire. Trust me, we do not play in South Africa. Trust that. You know what I mean? Number two, is South Africa has every right to defend itself and to defend Hamas and to defend the Palestinians because before we got freedom, Hamas and the Palestinians were supporting the black South Africans and the colored South Africans in their fight against apartheid. So if you like, you can come and team up with your AfriForums and your Buddha people and you can do whatever you think you can do. And trust, you will not win. You already failed the first time. Apartheid is gone dead and buried. You failed. Done. You fought in Zimbabwe. You got mercenaries and everyone to fight in Zimbabwe. Again, you failed. You failed in Africa to achieve your dreams of trying to build a white utopia. It failed. You failed. You get America. You need to learn that the only thing that you can do, that you're good at, is aerial bombardment. On the ground, you are useless. It's evident in Palestine. The only thing they've managed to do is flatten buildings, kill a lot of women and children from the air. All this is by the air or through the air, dropping bombs. That's all you guys are good at. That's what you did in Iraq. That's what you did in Afghanistan, flattening from the air. But when you get onto the ground, it's a different story. Why did you leave Afghanistan? Why did you leave Iraq? Did you liberate anybody? You left Libya. Why did you leave Libya? Did you liberate anybody? Are those countries thriving in this so-called democracy that you thought you're going to bring, that you spread so many lies that you're going to bring? You're going to make them better countries. You're going to put in place what democracy? You're defeated by the Taliban. Fair and square on the ground. You had to leave. So do you think you stand a chance in South Africa if you don't stand a chance against Hamas, which is just like a 20,000, 30,000 strong group? Do you honestly think you're going to stand a chance in South Africa? Really? People, another positive that why South Africa needs to support Hamas is that if South Africa puts its full weight behind Hamas, weapons, boots on the ground, it will send a strong message to the world that you will not be messed with. South Africa, we need to jack our army up. I do not care whether we go to the ends of the earth. I don't know who we need to hire, whether we hire mercenaries, whether we do. We need to check our army up. We need to do what the white people do. We need to constantly go to war with these white countries. I don't care if we get defeated. I don't care if we go, but practice makes perfect. That's the only way out. And that's what the Americans do. That's what the Israelis do. They're constantly at war. They're constantly bullying other people. So we will not be bullied. Not by America, not by Israel, not by any global organization that's run by America and Israel. We are sorry. That's not going to happen. Trust. That's not going to happen. And if you think it's going to happen, trust. You got another thing coming. We may not have the sophisticated weapons that you have from the air. But trust me, you're going to have to come down at some point that when you're on the ground, we will decimate you. Trust you me. That's not an idle threat. Trust you me. Prove it. Threaten South Africa? Like they always say, F around and find out, right? F around and find out. Trust me. Oh, this diplomatic warfare that you're threatening it. Bro, your embassy is here. We will shut it down. As simple as that. The Israeli embassy, I don't think it barely functions. Yeah, it's kind of like closed, but it's not really closed. But there, we closed it. You know what I mean? It's shut. It's like minuscule now. You know, it's been reduced to whatever it's been reduced to. I don't know. But yeah, somehow. Now just formally kick them out. I don't know why the ANC government is scared to do that. I mean, the benefits of being in government is that you can do whatever you like, right? So kick out the Israeli embassy. Let's South Africa needs to step up the war to the next level. Kick out the Israeli embassy. Kick out the ambassador too. That's what we need to do. The Americans kicked out our ambassador. Let's do the same. Let's kick out the ambassador. Let's close the American embassy. They took away PayPal. Let's close the American embassy. Let's chase away all the American companies. Let's get the Americans out of Africa. Let's get the Israeli companies out of South Africa. That's the aim. That's the goal. Now people are going to come to me. Oh, you talk nonsense. You talk cut. Oh, it's going to affect business. Oh, it's going to affect this. People, business or no business. American embassy or no American embassy. The country's already gone to the dogs. So how much more can that impact us? How much more? Like I always say, you chase the West out, you bring the East in. It's as simple as that. Other countries that are not even as developed as South Africa, we'll get down to their level. But we will not die. We will not disappear. We will not evaporate. We will suffer, yes, for a period, for a time. But things will get better if we know how to cultivate our relationships with the countries from the East. Why do you think a lot of countries are joining the BRICS organization? Because they're moving away from the West. They're trying to go East now. So what's stopping us from just totally annihilating the West and just moving eastwards? What's stopping us? I mean, people, we cannot be getting bullied for the rest of our lives. It's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Nope, it's not. We have to speak in a militant way so that they get the message. That's the only other way. Next, we get into the cons of why the ANC needs to help Hamas. Hello. People, unfortunately, there's no cons in this video because what would be a con from a Western perspective is two terrorist organizations or two terrorist governments collaborating, and that's a threat to the world. The biggest threat to the world right now is Israel and America. How much more threatening can it get? Those are the two biggest nuclear superpowers in their respective regions. Yes? So now how big of a threat can it be? Look how many countries Israel is at war with. How many? How many? Is that not a threat to the regional peace? Yeah? No? Is America not supporting? I can just go on and on. So there is no negative with South Africa supporting Palestine. Hamas is an elected government by the people. They are not a terrorist group. They are a government. But the West doesn't recognize them. They call them a terrorist group. So that is totally unfair from the Western point of view. They need to. The ANC was designated a terrorist group. Nelson Mandela was even on the terrorist list up until what? The 1990s, I think? 1990 went up to the 2000s, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere there. I mean, this is ridiculous. So you tell me there's no white terrorist country, no white terrorist government, even they do go around committing terrorist acts. If black governments do the exact same thing that Israel is doing, will they not be labeled a terrorist government? Yeah. Yeah. So Israel is a model government, and yet they're bombing churches and mosques and killing people in tents. And that is moral? Yeah. Guys, let me know what you think about this topic. Was I on the money or did I totally miss it with this one? Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. You know we family, right? Holla.